everyone. This is Maria Espinoza with the Maria Espinoza Show, the All-American Project. And as you know, the Remembrance Project serves as a voice for the voiceless, a voice for our fellow Americans who were killed by illegal aliens. Because our laws are not enforced, these are existing laws already on the books because our constitutional rights are not protected by our legislators on every level of government. All in all, ladies and gentlemen, it's so very important that we understand the safety and of our entire country. And we greatly support all of those in law enforcement. They are our natural partners. And today I am very honored and pleased to have with us Sheriff Chuck Jenkins out of Frederick County, Maryland. Sheriff Jenkins, welcome to the Maria Espinoza Show.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you so much. I know you're a busy man, Sheriff. So, as I mentioned, it's so important for our laws to be enforced, and these are existing laws. We're not asking for new laws, new bills, new legislation. We have these laws that help and protect our businesses, our families, our entire communities. And Sheriff, I'm in Texas. I know you are in Maryland, and I understand that you are feeling the increase of crime due to illegal immigration. Like I've said before, we're no longer a sanctuary city or sanctuary county. We are a sanctuary country. America is a sanctuary country. I want you to tell the people we're talking with today who are listening to tell us about what is going on in Frederick County, Maryland with crime.
Okay, so listen, Maria, I've been saying this for years. The fact that we're not enforcing the law, the fact that we've allowed our borders to basically to remain wide open, especially now. But I can talk about the impact of the open borders to my county, 2,500 miles away from Texas. So for years now, we have felt the increase of criminal gangs coming into Frederick County, Maryland. The drugs, the heroin, the fentanyl, which is now comes here like an open pipeline. I can talk about the increases in violent crime that we've seen until 12 years ago when I started working with ICE in a partnership called the 287G program, which has been a very successful, effective program in removing criminals from our county. Now, that's one. There are two parts to the problem. Number one is the border security, which you talked about is the real problem in Texas. The second piece of this is the interior enforcement, which allows local law enforcement, local sheriffs like myself, if you choose to, you can participate with ICE basically when you arrest a criminal alien, someone who's in this country illegally for a crime, you can cooperate with ICE, detain that individual, turn them over to ICE eventually, and they can be removed from this country. And I've been doing this since 2008 in Frederick County, highly effective. And I'll just start by saying this. For 8 consecutive years now, we have seen reductions in serious and violent crime, not totally because of, but in part due to the 287G program. So as we see it today, so we know what's going on. So right now, all the attention in this country is on Ukraine, and maybe rightfully so. I mean, we all hurt for Ukraine, but it's about the economy, the inflation. And as our attention is diverted to these problems, your borders in Texas, Arizona, New Mexico are wide open, probably to the tune of 500,000 illegals a month coming through our borders. We can't sustain this. America is not prepared to support this influx of population. And when you talk about public safety, national security, I'm telling you, American law enforcement and the criminal justice system is not prepared for what is coming our way and what we're going to face.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you mentioned that about 500,000 of illegal aliens crossing per month. And that is what the intel we receive is exactly saying. In fact, the 1.8 million illegal aliens that entered last year, I am told that is only 8 to 10% of what actually made it here.
And I believe that. I talk to sheriffs from Texas, Arizona routinely. I'm a member of the National Sheriff's Association Border Security Committee, so I'm involved in, and I receive a lot of the intel. But listen, this is alarming. This
Yes.
is alarming because we have no borders, we have no rule of law anymore. And where's this going to end? Again, I look at the crime. We've had MS-13 murders in Frederick County. We have more drug overdoses now than we've ever had. The pipeline of heroin and fentanyl coming through the border states right here. And this is probably geographically is where a lot of interstates come together, where we see a lot of the drug traffic and trade come into and through Frederick County. We're about an hour out of DC. And Maryland is not only a sanctuary state, it's a magnet state. I'm told by ICE officials that probably Maryland is the #3 destination in America for everybody coming across that border, if you would believe that.
Oh, I absolutely do. And, it's a shame, Sheriff, that we are even having this conversation because it is our inalienable right to be protected for our legislators on every level of government when they take that oath to protect the Constitution. This is basic. And
It
for
is.
12 years, the Remembrance Project has worked on talking about the very basic. I mean, our backs are up against the wall. Wouldn't you agree?
I would very much so. I take my oath very seriously. Okay. My #1 obligation as a sheriff of this county is to do everything I can to protect the public and make sure they sleep a little bit better at night. Right. And I take that very seriously. I'm a believer, and I believe this with my entire heart and being, is that no American should ever be the victim of a crime committed by someone in this country illegally. I mean, it goes to very basic fundamentals of what this country is all about.
Absolutely can play. So every single crime and killing by illegal aliens was 100% preventable.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And I believe this is by design. Okay. I believe this is chemical warfare against the United States. Listen, the entire world hates this country. Everybody around the world hates America, what we stand for, what we're all about, the fabric of our society. And I'm a believer that the powers that be in Mexico, through the cartels and the criminal gangs, are doing everything they can to basically kill Americans through illegal drugs.
Mhm.
Okay. The violence, you're getting violent. So think about this. The populations that are coming into the United States through the southern border are from the most violent countries on the face of the earth in terms of murder, violent crime, rape, sex crimes against young people and children. We can't tolerate this. And what's it going to take to stop it?
Exactly.
It's really obvious to me this administration doesn't care. They don't have a clue as to how bad it is. This administration has been an absolute failure at anything to do with border policy or enforcement policy.
Yes, I was told that this administration, their transition team, had 200 meetings with ICE and Border Patrol asking questions of what would take place if they implemented certain policies. And each time they were told, now remember, Sheriff, 200 meetings, and they were told that if they removed the Trump policies or relaxed them in any way, that there would be a flood of illegal aliens at the border. And this is exactly what is taking place. Drugs, crime, sex trafficking, human trafficking, all of the above is taking place right now.
We could all see this coming. So it didn't take me 200 meetings. I pay attention to what's going on. I talk to other sheriffs. I've been to the border twice, one to McAllen, Texas one time, and last summer, just recently, back in June of last year, to Sierra Vista down in Arizona. And I saw for myself, I saw the local impact. I talked to officers, I talked to ranchers, people who live along that border who are being terrorized and brutalized, their properties destroyed, their cattle slaughtered, their wells poisoned, and the waves of human beings come through unchecked through their properties. Again, what's it going to take to stop this? I can tell you, under Donald Trump, and I had the privilege of being at the White House probably 7, 8 times over the course of his term to talk about these very issues. That president got it. That man loves America. He understood the problem, and he had it largely in check until the new administration came in.
Absolutely. This Biden-Harris administration, I believe, just hates America. And in fact, I think they absolutely hate even the Latinos because they're highly populated along the border. And they're inundated. And these are some of the most poorest counties in Texas. And you're right, President Trump was excellent. He loves America. You know, he believes in God, our Judeo-Christian values, and believes that this country was
Yeah.
founded upon, you know, we are one nation under God. And to your point with the border, this is intentional. It's for a reason, and the reason is to destroy our country. And we have to get a hold of it. And I know Texas can do a lot more than Texas leadership has done in the past, especially knowing, and they should have been prepared, because Biden told people exactly what he was going to do if he was elected president of the United States of America. And this is what you're seeing. This is a destruction, deliberate destruction by this administration and all those who are, leading him. And shame on them, because they don't love this country. But we can get behind our Texas sheriffs, and that's an effort that we promoted and put forth and supported our sheriffs right here in Texas, and not just county, border county sheriffs, but all these sheriffs. And they did file in their counties. There were about 30 some declarations of disaster since last year that were filed because they wanted Governor Abbott to move and engage.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me just point this out. First of all, I think the border sheriffs know that there are a number of sheriffs like myself up on the East Coast, out in the Midwest, who have their backs. There's not one sheriff in this country that shouldn't be standing alongside of those border sheriffs and myself to work with ICE to support interior enforcement and to rid our counties and communities of illegals. The numbers. So over the course of 12 years, we here in Frederick County have deported probably a few more than 1,600 criminals in this country illegally, committing crimes that range from first-degree murder to aggravated assault, domestic violence, human trafficking, drug trafficking, you name the crime. It's been committed here by people in the country illegally. How much better of a community are we that we've ridded this county of these criminals? Now, with open borders, they're coming back, but guess what? They're not coming back to Frederick County, Maryland.
And that's a good point, because if they know a sheriff is tough in that county, they'll go somewhere else. In fact, one sheriff here in Texas put up billboards in Spanish also, and basically said that if you are illegally in our county, you will be prosecuted, you will be jailed. And their intel let them know that there was, talk or gibber, I don't know what you would call it, they could hear their radio calls or something, and they would tell these illegal alien mules to go around that county. So it does work if you have some sort of system, and these criminal illegal aliens and the cartels understand that these sheriffs do mean business. But right now, Sheriff, they're so emboldened. Biden-Harris administration has told them, come on in. We'll give you a free ticket to wherever you want. We'll fly you here and there. On one of my flights a couple of months ago, I sat next to an illegal alien, single adult male with a yellow manila folder with money in it and a cell phone in a plastic bag and some sort of documents with the alien number written on the front.
If you love America, if you think anything about this country and are concerned about the future for our kids, our grandkids, our families, and the direction that America is going in, there is no other conclusion that you can come to. I mean, you have to agree with our view on it. You have to. If you think anything about this country, we are going to lose everything we've had. We're without a shot being fired. We're giving it away.
Absolutely, Sheriff. And it's chiseling away at, like you mentioned, our families, the nucleus of this country. If it's the drugs, if it's all the crime, and it's very costly. Of course, the most egregious of all this illegal immigration causes is the death. And that is also crippling our families. They can't get their heads around why in the world are our own legislators not watching out for our best interests. The bare minimum we ask them to do is to protect us.
I've been to a couple of your events and Remembrance Project events over the past actually before the Biden administration took office, but under the President Trump, I came to a couple of your events in DC. I really respect what you do for families and what you're doing for America. And again, why isn't every sheriff standing up with you, beside you, to give a message to the public and this administration that we're not going to stand for this anymore? This is not Joe Biden's country. This is our America. He doesn't like it. He can go. He can leave. This is our country.
Absolutely, Sheriff. And I love that. Those who hate this country want to change it and don't believe in our US Constitution, there are plenty of other countries that they can move to and, practice their communist ways. And you mentioned President Trump at some of our events. I wanted to tell the audience too that President Trump has been fantastic with the Remembrance Project. He created the Office of Voice, Victims of Immigration Crime Engagement, as a promise to our organization. And also, before leaving office in October of 2020, President Trump signed officially proclaiming the National Day of Remembrance for Americans killed by illegal aliens as November 1st of every year. So, this is and was a president, and I believe that he won this election as well in 2020. This president loves his country, and all we're asking, we don't care what or which party you belong to.
No.
Have to be in for America. This is where we live. This is our home. Our families are raised here. We need to protect it.
We do. Absolutely. I can't, again, I try, I focus every day on the job I have here, my responsibilities, but a part of that is what long-term, what can I do in addition to what I'm doing now to help fight this fight? And it's just, I do. And I think, like I said, the border sheriffs know that up here in Frederick County, we have their backs. I said in Congress back in 2008, when I testified, that and at that point I said, every county will become a border county. And now every county is a border county. That's exactly where we're at. What I've done here in Frederick County, though, is actually a virtual fence around this county because we're bordered by Montgomery, we're bordered by Loudoun County, Virginia, which are basically overwhelmed with illegals, a lot of criminals.
Yes, absolutely. And no, we'll get to some of the solutions here. And I know you've mentioned some already. 287G is a big deterrent, and supporting our sheriffs. And I ask everyone out there listening and watching to support your county sheriff and get behind them. Let them know they have a vast authority. They have more authority in their county than the governor in their state and the president of the United States. They can keep out the IRS agent from knocking on your door, by the way, as well. So Sheriff, I want to say for the Remembrance Project, if there's ever anything that we can do for you or help you, assist you in any way, please reach out. You have my number, email, please contact us because, we want to partner with those who love their country and want to keep our American families safe.
Thank you. And I'm there for you as well. I assure you.
Okay. Any last words, Sheriff, before we go? Have a couple more solutions for the audience.
Yeah, I guess I would say, I would urge every citizen, everybody who watches this podcast, everybody who does have a concern about the problems at our border, the problems of crime in our counties and our communities, to reach out to your elected officials, your local and your federal office holders, your congressman. The problem is, Maria, yourself, nobody in Washington is listening to us right now. Nobody. I really don't care what party they're in. They're just not hearing the message, but reach out, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep getting the message out. And eventually someone will hear. The midterms are coming. Everybody's going to be scrambling to start kicking this can again because they've ignored it now for 2 years. And now as the election's coming, everybody's going to have a solution. Well, the solution is nothing short of going back to the Trump era control of the border and the interior enforcement of removing criminals and keeping them out of this country. Nothing short of that is a solution.
Thank you. And absolutely. And that's where we need to be. Everyone out there, you heard it right from Sheriff Chuck Jenkins' mouth. This is very easy solution. And we have laws. My father came here the right way from Mexico. And here I am today with millions of Americans who love their country. And I ask you to go to the remembranceproject.org. That's the remembranceproject.org. Sign up for our emails. Of course, there's a donate button there. Help us reach the communities that need to be reached and hear our word. Sheriff Jenkins, thank you so much. God bless you. God bless America. And out there, God bless y'all as well. And keep up the fight. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.